Well, a killer dentist is now going to be facing justice. But before we even get into this story of Lawrence Rudolph, the 68-year-old man who coldly orchestrated the murder of his wife during a hunting trip to Africa, I think we do need to ask the question, what is up with all the dentists and their exotic hunting trips to Africa?
Yeah, and this story reminded me of Walter Palmer, who was a dentist out of Bloomington, Minnesota, my homeland.
Mm-hmm.
He went to, I want to say, Africa and killed Cecil the lion, who was a very famous lion. Basically lured him out of his, I guess, his protected area that bans hunting, and then shot him with an arrow. And that was, goodness, many years ago, but I remember being absolutely freaking outraged about that. And my thought is, why are dentists going on these safaris? We seem to hear an awful lot about this.
And dentists specifically, I don't know what, I mean, I suppose, these sort of trips, these exotic hunting trips that basically put rich Americans in a cage with large animals that are endangered with guns. You could see it being mainly people who have a lot of money to waste on something like that. And so I eventually doctors, dentists, lawyers, but I don't know. It seems that dentist has been one of the higher ones. I wonder if there's something about that profession that draws that type of individual to that type of activity. I don't know what it would be. Control?
Yeah, I don't know. And I've got dental people in my family, and they love animals. So I'm really struggling with, where is this coming from? And obviously my family's not, you can't use them as the standard, but there's not something about, I hate animals and I love working on teeth. It's just a weird thing. I don't know.
The verdict has been delivered by the U.S. justice system. Lawrence Rudolph, 68 years old, who coldly orchestrated the murder of his wife during a hunting trip in Africa, sentenced to life imprisonment by a federal judge. The decision serves as a stark reminder that no act, no matter how meticulously planned, can elude the long arm of the law. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Colorado made the announcement just this last week. He was not only found guilty of murder, but also of defrauding life insurance companies. He'll serve a concurrent 20-year sentence for the latter offense. The legal repercussions don't end there. Judge William Martinez ordered Rudolph to pay $4.9 million in restitution and an additional fine of $2 million and a $200 special assessment. The U.S. Attorney Cole Finnegan emphasized the gravity of the verdict in his statement. This result shows that no matter how much money, prestige, or power you have, you will be held accountable for your crimes, he remarks. Rudolph's grim tale doesn't stand alone. His girlfriend, Lori Milron, was also found entangled in this web of deceit and violence. Convicted in August 2022, she was charged of being an accessory after the fact of murder, obstruction of justice, and 2 counts of perjury. By June, she was handed a 17-year prison sentence. Diving deeper into the details, the U.S. Attorney's Office unveiled the chilling sequence of events that took place on October 11th of 2016. On the final day of their hunting trip in Zambia, Rudolph coldly shot his wife, Bianca Rudolph, through the heart with a 12-gauge shotgun that was enclosed in a soft shell case. The intent? To cunningly disguise the cold-blooded murder as a mere hunting mishap. In defense, Rudolph recounted the version of events wherein his wife tragically died by trying to stow away the shotgun, which he claimed had accidentally discharged. The emotional toll this crime has taken on the victim's family was palpable during the sentencing hearing. As reported by the Associated Press, Bianca Rudolph's brother described the convicted murderer, asserting that Rudolph would die alone and unmourned. He further added, even Judas would be afraid to be in your company. The motive behind the grisly act became clearer as the prosecution shed light on Milleron's role. Lori Milleron, who maintained a professional relationship with Rudolph as a dental hygienist and manager in his office, reportedly pressured Rudolph to end his marriage with Bianca. This revelation, as disclosed by the AP, further establishes the premeditated nature of the crime. As the legal chapters in this case continue to unfold, Rudolph's defense teams expressed their intent to appeal the verdict, and we'll see where exactly that goes. So it's not a good idea number one, to be having an affair. And number two, if you are and you decide to end it, hunting trip to Africa to murder your wife, also probably not the most advantageous of ideas, where things could go absolutely horribly wrong. Just get divorced. But I suppose...
and that's the thing. And anytime we have these stories, it's like, why don't you just get out of your marriage, okay? If you're not happy, get out. Why do you have to kill the person?
I'm guessing money. I mean, there's probably an element there where, if I get a divorce, then half of my millions are going to go away. And in their mind, they may go and say, I don't believe that person, deserves half of what I've earned. And the thing that they then think of is kill them. Then they can't get it.
Well, in theory, that makes sense. But isn't your happiness worth something? And if you've got millions of dollars, you can afford to have $500,000.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But as we know, I mean, money does make people do crazy ass things. And I think that is really what's behind a lot of these. Then you add the romance element of, we'll be together. It'll be great. And you'll have everything that you have. You just flip the switch. And the person that you no longer are in a relationship with or want to be in a relationship with is just gone. And you can just pick up the pieces and everyone will look at you as this widower and they'll give you pity. I imagine there's a large narcissistic element to this individual as well, considering for fun he liked to go kill large endangered animals.
Yeah, that's a huge red flag right there.
So, I mean, if you look at all of that together, I wouldn't question a lot of people who engage in that sort of behavior as not being capable of taking the life of another human, should it not appear to be advantageous for them.
Ugh, yuck.
So, there you go. The justice system finally did catch up to Lawrence Rudolph, who will now be spending the rest of his life in a cage.
You're locked into the Hidden Killers podcast.
Want more? Start binging on all of our true crime podcasts right now through Apple Podcasts and get an ad-free experience when you sign up to be a True Crime Today Premium Plus member exclusively on Apple Podcasts.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast dropping soon.
Press subscribe now.
This is an examination of the hidden human condition.
This is the Hidden Killers podcast
with Tony Bruschi.